Hello. In this video, we'll explore how to use the Address Validation API from Google Maps, specifically through the Google Cloud Console and Cloud Shell IDE. We'll demonstrate an API call to the Address Validation API and examine the structure and nature of the responses. This API can help guide users to input correct and valid addresses in our applications. As a bonus, we'll also look at further checking and enriching the addresses using the Places API and entity information. While our demonstration will hit the APIs directly, the same concepts apply when you're developing an application and using a client SDK. To begin, let's jump into the Google Cloud Console. First, enable the Address Validation API by searching for it. Once enabled, copy your Google Maps Platform API key and save it for later use. If the Address Validation API was just turned on, as is our case, it may not show up immediately. Rather, let's proceed and then restrict the API key on the subsequent portal. In the Cloud Shell, we'll use our API token to make example calls to the API, authorizing our shell and pasting in curl commands, making sure to pass our API key as a query parameter. Upon examining the response, we'll see a wealth of information. The verdict section provides a high-level overview of the address validation and geocoding result, offering details about the address's granularity and completeness. The address section contains detailed information parsed from the input address, including full postal codes and locality information. Each address component gets separate confirmation, allowing applications to request specific information from users if needed. The geocode section offers latitude and longitude coordinates for the input address, along with bounds on that location. A Places ID is also provided, which we'll use in Places API calls later. The metadata section contains metadata about the address, such as whether it's a business or a PO box. The USPS data field offers standardized information for US Postal Service addresses. Finally, a unique response ID is provided for validation feedback via the API. Using the provided Places ID, we can make additional API calls. If you didn't enable all Google Maps APIs when activating the Address Validation API, then you'll need to repeat the API enablement process for the Places API. Before making the request, add the API to our tokens restrictions and save. To successfully execute the API call, make sure to use single quotes to escape ampersands. In this example, we requested the name and rating of the place. The example showcases how data will not be returned if it does not exist, like a rating for this particular place. In just a couple of API calls, we've demonstrated how to validate addresses, obtain additional details, and use the Places API to gather information about entities associated with an address. You can integrate this with your applications in various ways, such as by using SDKs for web applications, Android apps, or iOS apps. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section, and thank you for watching.